into actuality. Yet even this feeling, embodiment, is not enough. If there is resistance, if there are hidden doubts, if there are lingering contradictions, that is why it is critical, absolutely critical, to continue the process of internal inquiry, asking the questions that reveal the blocks, the self-sabotaging beliefs, the fear-based patterns that undermine alignment. Questions such as, do I truly believe I am worthy of this? Do I truly allow abundance into my life? Am I ready to accept this reality without reservation? These questions are not easy. They are uncomfortable. They require honesty, courage, and humility. But without this inquiry, alignment remains fragile, partial, and the quantum shift will falter. Another subtle but profound aspect of alignment is intention, pure, clear, conscious intention, free from attachment, free from desperation, free from fear. Many seekers, unknowingly attached to the outcome, they cling to the result. They become obsessed with timing, with how it should appear, with the path it should take. Yet the universe responds not to obsession, but to clarity, not to force, but to resonance, not to desire rooted in lack, but to desire in abundance, in certainty, in alignment with the infinite possibilities of existence. To cultivate this clarity, this intention, meditation becomes a vital tool, not as a means to escape reality, but as a means to enter the state where awareness, acceptance, and alignment converge, where the noise of doubt, the chatter of fear, the clutter of scattered attention fades and the quiet, clear signal of your true vibration emerge. Meditation trains the mind, the emotions, the energy field to resonate with the frequency of your desired reality, to communicate with the quantum field, not in frantic effort, but in still, deliberate presence. Even with meditation, even with feeling, even with awareness and acceptance, the greatest obstacle remains resistance, subtle, invisible resistance, the often unconscious choices we make that contradict our desires, the tiny hesitations, the quiet compromises, the just-in-case moments that keep us half in the old reality, half in the new. Resistance may appear as doubt, procrastination, distraction, or avoidance, yet it is always present when the quantum shift is incomplete, when alignment is partial, when awareness is superficial. Understanding this, acknowledging, is the turning point, the moment where manifestation becomes a conscious, deliberate process rather than a hopeful wish. You begin to see the invisible threads, the patterns of energy that weave reality, and you realize that the true reason your quantum shift is failing has nothing to do with luck, skill, or effort, and everything to do with presence, with alignment, with the unfragmented tuning of your consciousness to the reality you desire before it physically appears. Once awareness, acceptance, and alignment are established, the next stage is action, but not the kind of frantic reactive action that most people associate with manifestation. This action is deliberate, conscious, and deeply informed by your inner state. It is action that flows naturally from alignment, action that does not contradict your vibration, action that is guided by intuition, by the subtle impulses of the mind-body energy continuum. When you act in this way, every choice, every word, every gesture becomes a reflection of the reality you wish to manifest, a signal sent into the quantum field that reinforces your intention. Many people think that manifestation is only about visualization, only about belief, only about positive thinking, and while these are essential, they are not sufficient. Without action, without the tangible expression of aligned intention, the quantum shift remains incomplete. But here is the key: the action must be aligned, it must be effortless, it must feel as though it is a natural extension of your consciousness, not a forced attempt to manipulate reality. This is where intuition plays a critical role, the quiet inner voice that guides you towards steps that resonate with your inner state, that feel effortless, that bring joy, that expand rather than contract your energy. To cultivate this intuitive action, It is vital to develop sensitivity to your own energetic feedback, the subtle signals your body, mind, and emotions give you in response to each choice. Notice what feels expansive, what feels constrictive, what brings clarity, what brings tension. When you act in ways that are in harmony with your vibration, the results unfold naturally, easily, sometimes almost magically. When you act out of fear, doubt, or a sense of obligation, the energy becomes fragmented, scattered, and the shift falters. Your consciousness is like a magnet. The quality of your energy determines what you attract, what you manifest, what you allow into your reality. Another essential practice is the cultivation of emotional mastery, the conscious management of your feelings, not by suppressing them, but by observing them, by understanding their origins, by consciously choosing the energy you wish to embody. Emotions are powerful. They are the language of the quantum field, the signal that communicates to reality, the state of your consciousness, the vibration you are broadcasting. When you maintain a consistent emotional state that aligns with your desired reality, your quantum shift accelerates, obstacles dissolve, synchronicities appear, and the path becomes clear. But emotional mastery is subtle. It requires honesty. It requires patience. It requires the willingness to face discomfort, to sit with feelings that arise, without judgment, without avoidance, without reacting impulsively. It is here, in these moments of quiet emotional awareness, that resistance is revealed, that hidden doubts surface, that the underlying beliefs that have kept you from full manifestation are illuminated. And when these are acknowledged, without shame, without blame, without fear, they lose their power, they dissipate, they no longer hold you in the old pattern. Parallel to emotional mastery is the importance of mental clarity, the conscious shaping of your thoughts, the deliberate focus on ideas, images, and narratives that support the reality you wish to create. Thoughts are powerful. They are the architecture of consciousness, the blueprint that guides energy into form. But thoughts are only powerful when they are consistent, when they are not undermined by conflicting beliefs, by self-sabotage, by habitual negativity. Mental clarity requires discipline, not in a rigid sense, but in the sense of conscious attention, choosing where your mind dwells, what ideas you entertain, what stories you tell yourself about your reality, about your worth, about possibility. Alongside awareness, emotional mastery, and mental clarity, physical embodiment is a crucial layer of the quantum shift. Your body is not separate from your consciousness. It is a vessel, an instrument, a transmitter of energy. Movement, posture, breath, and health influence your vibration, influence your frequency, influence your resonance with the reality you see. When your body is aligned, when it is vital, when it is expressive, it amplifies your quantum signal. It communicates readiness, openness, and alignment to the universe. Neglecting the body, ignoring its signals, or living in physical dissonance can quietly undermine even the most well-intentioned manifestation effort. Another subtle but transformative practice is the cultivation of gratitude, not as a rote exercise, not as a checklist of things you should feel thankful for, but as an experiential recognition of the abundance already present in your life, of the energy that is already flowing, of the manifestations that have already occurred. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to sufficiency, from absence to presence, from desire to fulfillment. And this shift is felt at the quantum level, reverberating through your consciousness, signaling readiness for greater expansion, for the next level of manifestation. Many people underestimate the power of inner environment, the subtle quality of your surroundings, your influences, your media consumption, in your social connection. Energy is contagious. Frequency is amplified by resonance. In the environment you inhabit can either support your alignment or erode it. Choose influences that elevate, that inspire, that encourage clarity, abundance, impossible. Remove or minimize those that create doubt, tension, or distraction. Your quantum shift thrives in an ecosystem of alignment, not chaos, not fragmentation, not scattered attention. Even with these practices, even with awareness, acceptance, alignment, emotional mastery, mental clarity, embodiment, in gratitude, there remains one final key, the ultimate subtlety, the last barrier that blocks many seekers from experiencing a complete quantum shift, and that is surrender, not in the sense of giving up, not in the sense of passivity, but in the sense of complete trust, complete faith, complete release of attachment to how, when, and what form the manifestation will appear. Surrender is the recognition that the universe, the quantum field, the infinite intelligence that shapes reality, is infinitely more capable than the limited human mind, infinitely more wise, infinitely more creative. When you surrender, you allow the energy of manifestation to flow unimpeded. You stop obstructing your own desires, and the shift occurs naturally, effortlessly, beautifully. One reason your quantum shift is failing, in essence, is always a combination of these elements: being incomplete, fragmented, inconsistent, resist. It is not that manifestation is impossible. It is not that you are incapable. It is not that the universe is unresponsive. It is that somewhere, in awareness, in emotion, in thought, in body, or in surrender, there is misalignment. And the beauty of this realization is that it is fixable, it is visible, it is tangible, and it can be corrected, slowly, deliberately, moment by moment, day by day, until alignment becomes a living state, until the quantum shift no longer fails, until manifestation is not a distant hope, but a lived reality.